BTB Podcast has officially joined forces with SWSC, and things are about to get a whole lot more entertaining. SWSC is turning up the volume on the entertainment and launching a brand new YouTube channel called Sorta Local. It's all about fresh local content, live streams, new shows, and the kind of fun, off the cuff moments you don't want to miss. And yes, the BTB Podcast is coming along for the ride. You'll still get the same BTB show you love, but now on a bigger stage. Expect live streams from Wolves games, on location recordings, guest appearances, and plenty of surprises. This is just the start. More details are coming soon as Sorta Local launches a new wave of shows and events celebrating the best of Sudbury and beyond. Subscribe to Sorta Local on YouTube and be a part of something new, local, and seriously entertaining.
Silver Cross Sudbury. Are you or a loved one looking for mobility and accessibility solutions in Sudbury? Look no further than Silver Cross Sudbury. Silver Cross Sudbury is your trusted source for a wide range of mobility aids and home accessibility products. They're dedicated to improving your independence and quality of life. Visit their showroom at 760 Notre Dame Avenue, that is 760 Notre Dame Avenue, or call them at 705-222-0700. Your independence is their priority. We thank Silver Cross Sudbury so much, more importantly, Dean and Chantal Jacqueline, who are the owners of Silver Cross, for making a difference in our lives and our listeners since day one, supporting our podcast.
From the cold of the north, where the stories begin, behind the bench, let the breakdowns roll in. Sports on the table, politics on the line, unbeatable banter every single time. Settle in now, let the good times last. You're listening to the Northern Ontario Podcast behind the bench. Behind the bench. Behind the bench. Behind the bench.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to week 244 of Behind the Bench. Hope everyone is doing absolutely fantastic. You got myself, Alex Schmino, Tommy Vlaus is here. Mason Savage will be joining momentarily. You can find Behind the Bench podcast on all podcasting platforms. You can also find us on YouTube. We post our episodes as well on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram and X at BTB Podcast _, TikTok at Behind the Bench, and for all other BTB needs, www.behindthebench.co. And if you'd like to get any merch, that's www.btbshop.ca. We got lots to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. A great guest ahead of us as well. So very excited to get this episode out. The weather, I'm trying to get in the summer mood, Tom. Like, I'm trying to get there. And
It's
all
cold,
it's
bud.
felt like is like October, November. Like, it's been brutal.
Yeah, I had a couple phone calls for work today, and out in my coworkers out in Saskatchewan are having snow, but it was like 25 degrees to snowing for them today. Like
Wow.
I guess it could be worse. But we're still golfing. I mean, there's no better thing than getting the Ottawa emails that your time's confirmed and that the course is open.
It's a great feeling.
Like, I can't remember how good it felt until now, because I'm playing on opening day tomorrow. We're recording on Wednesday. Tomorrow's opening day, May the 14th, and I'm very excited to be back at the track. So, but yeah, like you said, it's it's cold out there, man. It's me and you like to run hot, and it's still cold. So
The weather, I can't, like, we've been getting rained on for a while here now. There is some hope in sight here, but my goodness, it's been a frustrating couple of days, Tom. Well, a couple months. Like, this whole winter's been awful. And we've definitely seen the golf courses take a hit. I'm interested to see the shape that the ID is in, but we played Timberwolf, Tom. We've played Cedar, and winter has definitely had their licks on both golf courses. It's licks, sorry. However, I will say Timberwolf, for the most part, is in solid shape. The greens are going to take some time to get back, and I think that should be expected with really any golf course. But yeah, Timberwolves seem to take quite a bit of a hit on the green side of things, but from tee up until green is like phenomenal, like great, like the course weathered great in that sense. But yeah, I feel like all the greens are going to take a ton of hit this year, like just with the amount of water. I can't imagine, like, rain is definitely good, but when you don't have any sunshine or heat, I can't imagine the science behind that is too good for a golf course.
Yeah, that's why I'm generally pretty curious to see how the Ottawa is tomorrow when I play it, because it's as everyone knows, today Wednesday it rained all day and it's not going to stop till basically overnight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be wet. But
I didn't expect it for them to keep open I thought maybe they'd push back another day, but
they must be confident with the drainage, and I mean,
it's supposed to be decently enough nice tomorrow, so hopefully some sun will help. Yeah, and we'll go from there. But opening day at the Ottawa, round one for me tomorrow, boys. We're here.
Are we all playing tomorrow?
Yeah. No, like,
are you playing
First
tomorrow?
of all,
I play 7:14 p.m. I am
okay,
on
I'll see
the
you.
sheet.
Okay, we'll have to connect off air because I need to get you some full wedge into your wardrobe, and we'll meet at
There's no way you're playing at 7:14.
I booked the tea time.
Quick 9.
And I think former club champ Jason Pico is going to be joining us.
Oh, wow! What a force!
Can you even get 9?
I'm going to say foursome, but it gets 9 at 8:55. I checked the sunset, so you might be able to push.
That's got to be a quick 9.
Well, when I shoot 38 tomorrow, it will be quick.
Mace, what's the over?
What's realistically what's realistically the over under?
Like 41.5.
Yeah, that's a good over under historically.
Like if you shoot 41,
my first round, I've broken 40 on the front. I played 9 holes each opening day last couple of years, and I broke 40. The target's 39.
Okay.
And that was with a bogey on 9 both years. Just saying.
Wow. And you got the spider in play. You bought that late into last year. Means you're going to really have to savor every single moment on the golf course this summer because you're not going to get a lot of it.
Yeah. Well, Mace, you'd like this because you like to know, my golf game. In 36 holes, all playing them with Alex Jamil, I've only made 1 double bogey so far.
That's great, Tom. Proud of you.
So I am pretty happy with that.
I can't say the same.
I know. I witnessed a good other out of you the other day at Timberwolves.
I love making a good triple. Like
you know what? You've I think we've all grown, and I think maybe there's part of growing up and realizing that we're not going to be pro. Is when we do make another, we're not as frustrated as we once were.
No, you got to just laugh. You can't.
You laughed it off. It was.
See, Chim, that's the maturity. I was your age during the ID Cup. That's what led to success. Just being able to shake it off. You were too young and emotional.
I was a ball of nerves in the ID Cup. I thought I was one of the fan favorites there, and I just could never get it done. I was like a Ricky Fowler of that group, maybe, I would say. Just could never win the big one.
I actually have some golf news that I would like to share to both you and I guess to the fans.
Purchase?
No purchase. It's a goal of mine, and I can maybe think it's a little bit unrealistic, but this is my goal for the summer. I'm going to try whatever it takes to be a part of the Ottawa's Ryder Cup team this year. I'm going to grind, and I'm going to try my best to put some good scores in from the tips, and we'll see what can happen.
Why not?
The summer of Tom.
We'll
Why
see.
not give it a go?
I mean, the format is kind of suited for me in a way. I allude all that matches to bench brawls, and when I did go far enough in that one invite tournament, that I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely a goal.
Finals, second flight or first flight?
Second flight. I lost in the finals. Yeah. So like,
you're 3-1 in elimination games.
Correct.
It's better than Toronto.
So I know. Obviously, you guys all know the format with scramble and alternate shot and stuff. I don't know. You put me with a guy like maybe Evan or something. We're already friends and play together a lot. You never know. I know I have to beat out a lot of good players.
Partner me with Evan, and we'll win too, Tom.
Did you guys see the people flocking to our comments? I dropped a little nugget yesterday on Instagram. calling out guys to see if they want to play us in bench brawls. We could have a bench brawl every
day.
week if we wanted to, almost every day if we wanted to, Tom. This summer, a lot of people want to smoke badly. There's some really good golfers that want to smoke, Tom, so we're going to have to choose carefully. But that was a fun little Easter egg I wanted to throw out there. LaCoon Matheson, not happy at all. I got a text.
Yeah. Have you got a text from Maddie? Okay, me too.
Oh, yeah. And
I know he's
what?
listening
I
to
kind of
this.
love it. And he's listening to this right now. He's probably going to try and punch the screen as we're talking about it. I absolutely love that we're getting him going. He did bail last year. Him and LaCoon both bailed this year. They are 0-2. The fact that we're giving them another shot is laughable. It's great for content, I'll tell you that. I got the biggest grin on my face right now, and I know Matty Moose is going to be right fired up listening to this. But if they want it, they can get it whenever Moose is back on Canadian soil. We're ready to go.
Could you imagine we go 3-0 against those guys though?
You know what would be the dream, actually? Because we've beaten them on our home turf. We've beaten them on their home turf at Timberwolf. If we somehow found a way to go to Cabot and beat Moose on St. Lucian soil, he would never be able to live it down. And I think it's quite doable.
Yeah, it is when we go and visit for sure.
We need our own clubs. We need to bring our own clubs, though.
Well, I don't know
rentals. The rentals are great, by the way.
Well, of course they are.
Having the feel of your own
pristine golf course.
Great.
I don't know what text you were getting, but I was basically getting like, you know how he is, pissed off that we kind of posted that video, and I'm like, buddy, like you're 0-2, like maybe win a match.
Yeah,
yeah.
You are a part of the content machine that is BTB. As soon as you decide to step in front of those lens, you're ready to go. We have so many good old videos. I may have to start throwing a Throwback Thursday. It is so good, guys. We got some.
When we did the 4-pack
clips.
challenge was great. All of us too. That had to be one of our best.
I think the Corny's quiz. There's some great moments from the Corny's quiz. Some great moments from our old bench brawls. So many great old videos. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Mason with the hands up when the Habs won in 21. So many good moments, and I think I may have to start doing a throwback edition. I think 5 years in is great. Other news too, we hit 5,000 followers on Instagram. Like that's great, and don't rush to hit the unfollow button there, folks. But 5,000 followers, it's great. It was a goal of ours, and we're happy to get there. And let's see. I mean, let's get to 10K. Why not? Let's try and get there.
1,000 a year has been our pace.
1,000 a year. Our 10K.
Pretty good ratio.
That'd be pretty cool.
And I know you're working on a little 5K post as well, but you want to make sure we get up there a little bit more.
That's right. I don't want to,
You don't want
last
people.
thing I want to do is post a 5K post and then everyone goes to rush to hit the unfollow.
Oh, people look at the account. We're like at 4,990.
There is one person. I'm not going to name names, and they don't even listen to the show. Yeah, I've definitely told you this before. There's one person that I've seen unfollow and follow us over the course of 5 years. They've probably done it 20 times.
Seriously.
And most of the time,
did you go to their wedding?
Follow. I may have.
Do you share a name with them?
Oh, really?
I may have. I'm not the only hint I'll give you is that I did attend their wedding. They'll follow, unfollow, and they're like, just when it's convenient for me when you guys are posting updates on the invite, so on and so forth. I kind of respect it, but at the same time, it's just like, why don't you stay following and just mute us, and then unmute us when it's a whole thing. Social media, it's a fun game. And where do I go now, folks? We're going to go to Tristan Ritchie at Lake City Realty Performers of the Week, fellas. Thinking about buying or selling a home in Sudbury, Tristan Ritchie from Lake City Realty gives you more than just listings. He gives you honest advice. Tristan will tell you whether it's the right time to buy or sell based on the market, your needs, and his deep local expertise. No pressure. It's just the truth. Ready for a real conversation about real estate? Call Tristan at 705-920-6109 or follow him on social media at Real Ritchie. Your home journey starts here. Tommy, what do you got?
I love being lead off. This one's another good one. Friend of the show gave us the best slogan to this day. It's our group chat name, BTB to the moon. I'm going with Alex Fra, committing to Clarkson University. So obviously everyone
Lock.
knows his lengthy career in the OHL in terms of basically playing for a few different teams, but the Wolves and then ending it off with Windsor there, but going to continue his hockey journey at Clarkson, and then obviously academically, that's a really good school to go to. And the boys don't know this, they don't, but I actually went to a Clarkson University tour back in the day. Me and Maddie Mayu.
What?
Back in the heyday, we went to I guess a showcase for their maybe prospects back in the day. Boys, I wasn't ever going there, but saw the facility, saw the arena. I was there. So I'm not gonna say I relate to him, but it's a pretty good place to go. And obviously he's
Pretty
the one
cool.
that's gonna be playing there. So
Pretty
yeah.
cool. He's joining up with Kalia too, his sister that committed
Correct.
there. So
Correct.
very cool to see that the kind of family affair there. So really cool. Mason,
That was a good one, Tom. Chim, do you hear that? Do you hear that, Chim?
well, what is it, Base?
Llewellyn soccer is heating up. Undefeated at the North Bay soccer tournament over the weekend. Both the juniors and the senior boys won the title. The girls also went undefeated but didn't make the playoff round due to points. But the Llewellyn boys senior team coming for St. Ben's, Chim. They are locked in sight. They are coming together, synergizing. I am no part of it. I've just been a great fan watching from the sidelines. I think you're going to have your hands full, Chim. I know a couple of the results, a couple draws against Horizon and Lockerbie. I don't know if the green color scheme is screwing them up a little bit, but be ready, Jim. Be ready.
There's no doubt that their pool, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to win this league this year. There's a lot of good teams, including Llewellyn, seeing these right up there. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun finish here. And Llewellyn's no joke, no doubt. They've given us a hard time in past years. So it's a great.
And Jim, you guys
rivalry.
have jumped up to AA this year. Confirm or deny?
Yeah, we are. Can confirm we are with the big dogs this year. It is as hard as it gets now. If you want to get to offset, you got to make a real splash. You got to basically make city final. You have to make city final now. Just with if you play the numbers out, like you have to make the city final, and then you have to win NASA. And NASA is a much more expanded format in AA compared to single A. So yeah, everything's a little more difficult now, but we're here, and hopefully we get to conquer it.
Well, welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, happy to be here. My performer of the week, and I don't know if I mentioned it a few pods ago, but I definitely mentioned my trip to Vancouver, which was great. I had a blast, and I don't think I really got to shout out, Giuseppe Politi, Joanna Redmond was there, and all the kids that were on the trip. It was a ton of fun, and business trips like that and high school trips like that are like those are core memories. Like I did Chicago and New York with Politi as a student. This Vancouver one, I mean, they made so many memories. They met Adam Sandler. One of the nights, like that stuff you don't forget. And they put on a great showing too at the national case conference that we went to. And I mean, our business schism is booming at St. Benedict. It's great to see so many successful stories coming out of it, and competing on a national level is very cool. And one of our very own got individually recognized as well, Mauro Cusinato, for one of the best speakers at the event. That's out of 500 kids across the nation. A guy from Sudbury, a student from Sudbury. It's a cool story. So wanted to shout out Mauro there. He's great. He's on our soccer team too, captain of our hockey team. So he's been heavily involved. He's a phenomenal student. Wanted to give him his flowers, and to everyone on the trip, students, teachers. It was unbelievable. And I really hope, once Politi retires, that's something I can replicate. It'll be very difficult, but very, very cool in the end. Okay, boys. Sorry, Tom. Yeah, go ahead.
Before I go, we move on. Sorry. I know sometimes it's a little competition between which school is better, but I like to chime in here just a little bit because I saw a teacher that Mason obviously teaches with and works with Sunday, Mother's Day at church. People might know I'm Greek, teacher's Greek, and I'm giving the edge to Llewellyn so far because there's potential that my lovely business mind of mine in my career professionally will be coming to Llewellyn in the near future to be a guest judge potentially. So that's in the works. And I'm giving the slight edge to Llewellyn because Chimino wants me nothing to do a part of St. Ben's right now. So thank you, Mason and Llewellyn. We appreciate you.
I appreciate that, Tom. And just a little tidbit, a little update for SCC soccer, currently last place in the A division.
Yeah, that's wild.
They might not make
That's
playoffs.
wild.
I will say that is the group of death, first of all. The group they're in, it's Llewellyn, C&D, Lockerbie, Horizon, and SEC. So it's a very difficult group there. And, you have down years. It happens. To the business side of things, Tom, you're always welcome, to come in and chat as part of, as my friend and as part of the business community here. So the door's never shut for you. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn it over right to our interview. It was a lengthy one, and we want to get it to you right away. It was a great chat with Evan Phillips, the GM and assistant coach of the Sudbury Cyclones, as well as newly named head coach of the Nipissing Lakers men's soccer program. A really cool story and a really great chat about soccer here in the North and recruiting and tactics and all that stuff. So if you love soccer, if you love university sports, this one is for you. Here is Evan Phillips. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a great guest for you today. He's the general manager and assistant coach of the Sudbury Cyclones and was newly named the head coach of the Nipissing Lakers men's soccer program. What a resume, ladies and gentlemen. And that's just recent. He's had some time with Cambrian and Laurentian soccer as well. Please welcome Evan Phillips to the B2B podcast. How are we doing?
We're doing good, boys. Glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Oh, we're excited to chat here, Evan. It's been a long time coming. I know we have a lot of thoughts on soccer here in the North, so excited to discuss that today. But recent news, obviously, congratulations on being named the head coach of Nipissing. That is a great program over there, and we can't wait to see you lead it there. So tell us how that all came to be.
Yeah. So honestly, it kind of happened pretty quick. I've I made a goal for myself a few years ago when I left Cambrian to be like, I want to be running an OUA program in the next kind of 5 years. That was the goal. And, I was really hopeful that might be Laurentian someday, but, things happen, life changes. And in the winter, the posting went up and I had a couple conversations with Sarah, who's the athletic director there at Nipissing. And, we had some pretty good conversations. I know some of the players already at Nipissing through Cyclones. So I had some good rapport with them and the players. And then as things kind of went on, I was like, I don't know if it's going to happen, if it's not going to happen. And then, it turned pretty quick. I did the interview and they came back and they made it, coaching wise, soccer wise in Northern Ontario, an offer I don't think I really could say no to from what I wanted to do as a person, as a coach, and what I want to do in soccer and football specifically. But yeah, and it turned around and they're like, they made a couple of things that I was very happy with in the offer. And, when I sat back and thought about things, talked about it with my wife, I was like, this is why am I doing this if it's not to take these opportunities, right? So, and Nipissing being, it definitely is a small school. It's smaller than Laurentian, but like infrastructure wise, the world is your oyster there in the sense that there's a ton of really good things there, from the facility, the gym, the change rooms, the infrastructure around the school. Like there's a lot of things that are positive, and then the things that I can control and I can change as from a program, I think will match well with the school as a whole.
Okay.
That's unreal. Great facilities. I'm happy you made a point on that. A beautiful turf field. You know, in my time there at Nipissing, I was just awing over it. Beautiful gym, everything like you mentioned. Yeah. No, it's a great fit. Tom.
Evan, first one I got for you. Obviously, me and Alex know you, but like for the listeners, like, how did you go from goalkeeper to obviously get into coaching? Like, what's your kind of your whole soccer story from growing up to where you are now?
Yeah, so like originally I'm from Toronto. I'm a transplant. They I played, the old version of OPDL, which is OYSL in Toronto all the way growing up. Had some really good opportunities, within the provincial program as well. And then eventually went to Laurier and did 2 years at Laurier there with Mario Helper in the soccer program there, and was taking kin. And realistically, I knew I wanted to be in healthcare, and which was going to be more of the college route. So after 2 years there, I talked to Mario, who was our head coach, and I decided I was going to transfer. And he knew Giuseppe Politti. So Giuseppe was actually supposed to go to Laurier. Most people don't know this, before Brock.
Oh, I didn't even know
And
this either. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
and so he knew Mario pretty well, and it kind of, merged us together. And I came up to Sudbury in March in a snowstorm, of course, to the old indoor center on Falcon Bridge there. And that was my first introduction to Sudbury, was that old
What a
building.
spot.
It was great. And, just knowing back now, I was so nervous because, like, I had a pretty good situation at Laurier. I was getting good minutes, and, going to a new program, whether it's college, university, and moving across the province is different, right? So I then, I had a session, was good, everything was great. Giuseppe's like, yeah, you're good. We're gonna give you a scholarship. Like we're gonna have some fun here. And then, I loved Cambrian. Cambrian was great to me. Giuseppe, Matt Binks, Stefan Legrand, Dana Crowley, they all took care of me pretty well when I first moved to Sudbury. And then Giuseppe convinced me to stay that first summer to play in the old OSL adult top level team with Connor, and a few other like old Laurentian guys who are now my age, a little bit older now, and Moxham, Brandon Moxham. So then, so I ended up staying and getting to coaching that summer. That whole team, we coached grassroots together, and knew already that I wanted to get into coaching. And then I loved my summers. The summer was sweet in town, and we got to play a ton of footy. Coach, my whole summer was footy and stuff that I probably wouldn't have got the opportunity to do in the GTA, which is crazy to say because there's so much
Mhm.
soccer. But
Right.
like, I got given a lot of responsibility pretty early, and then I did another year at Cambrian, and it went even better on the field. And then off the field, Giuseppe asked me to run the U21 program. So I did that, and then I started getting into coaching on the women's side during my last year of playing. I did the goalkeeping coach and assistant coach in the women's, had a ton of success then, and then basically went full-fledged into coaching as soon as I was done my last year at Cambrian. And took over the 2006 age group pretty early on, had a lot of success with that group. That group's still playing at Laurentian and Nipissing and Cyclones today, which is I'm pretty proud of. And then Cambrian, Giuseppe decided to leave Cambrian, and then I was able to kind of take over then. And that's when things really started to, I started to push the coaching envelope, as you say. And then it was like, okay, what do I want to get out of this? And, leaning on a lot of, Giuseppe, Steph Legrand, and Dana and Matt Binks, they kind of were like, hey, you're great at this. Like, if you want to do this, this is what you got to do. So started doing the badges, the education, committing to everything locally that I could do. And honestly, probably too much. I still do too much nowadays. But I thought, if you're not going to do this and immerse yourself in it, then you're not going to get what you want out of it in the end, which is running an OUA program. That's like
Yeah.
that. If you take that into from what it is from back then to now, that's the whole point, right? You got to immerse yourself in it.
Absolutely. No, it's a cool story, Ev, because like you mentioned, you were literally from the grassroots all the way up here in Sudbury. Like, and you mentioned, moving here and sticking around. Like, I guess, what sold you on staying up north here? And like you mentioned, you had a lot of great opportunities, but what kind of made you end up, staying here and wanting to now build a life and build a family here?
Like, I think the reality is on the field, like, I had some of my most successful moments in soccer here at Cambrian on the field. And then that created some great relationships off of it. And I think, you know, soccer, sport in general, right, is about the connections we make and um, the value within that. And, I still to this day, all the guys I played with that came in that are in Sudbury, or some are not in Sudbury still. We have, more majority of us still here. We hang out every weekend. They're coming to Cyclones games. I'm going to do stuff with them, men's league, whatever it is. Like, the community aspect is still there. And that made it pretty easy when I also started getting soccer opportunities to say, like, why would I go back? I mean, I love Toronto. I don't know if I can still say I'm a Toronto man's anymore, but I like to say that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the reality is I've had all these opportunities, these things, and I met my wife here too, so that definitely wasn't leaving when that happened. And but the reality is there's a lot of things that were great on the field and off of it that made just Sudbury awesome. And I think that's the thing. People don't understand Sudbury till you hear. And I say this to every recruit I brought at Laurentian, Cambrian, now, Cyclones. Northern Ontario is great, right? There's a lot of things you can do here that you just can't in bigger cities, and the opportunities that come with that, which is why I always say to the players, once you get here, you'll love it.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my questions for you, and I guess I'll go to it now. Like, I guess it doesn't matter across college, your time at college, university. Now, with Cyclones, the question is going to be, how do you sell these guys on coming up north, and especially in Sudbury, where we do have a lack of facilities right now. But I guess, like, and maybe you want to take it, experience by experience, college, university, and Cyclones, if maybe they differ, or we can maybe even focus on Cyclones as the most recent one. How do you sell guys on coming up here to play?
Bell Park.
Bell Park. It's a
Lot of
huge
lakes.
one. Oh, I'd say to the guys, long walks on the boardwalk. But no, I think Cyclones is twofold, right? Like, I think it's pretty similar. Like, I've talked to, when you talk about the SWC and things, like, you sell them on the experience, right? We definitely have an issue with facilities, 100%. But I think the other thing is too, you got to use the facilities we have. Like, Cambrian, as a grass pitch, it's immaculate. We have great attendance there. We're well supported. The college, Cambrian as a whole supports Cyclones very well, right? And those are things that the other teams or programs don't have as well, right? They don't have as good a connection with parts of their facilities, right? And so you can go right there to say, hey, we have a great grass pitch that you're going to love playing on. That's going to also be good on your body, which everyone plays on turf. Turf is harder on you. It's just a fact. Right. And then at the same time, you're going to have 500-700 people at every game going crazy. And when there's actually decent weather, it's going to be a crazy place to play. And I think that's easy. And then you also look at the infrastructure around, if you look at the content that the SWC does with Paul Hamilton and Xander and all the guys in that team, it's better and it's different, right? In a lot of other teams. And I think you can also say, like, look at the Wolves, look at the Five. Those are things that you don't have in all the teams. Some teams do, but not every team. And that's different. And then at the same time, winning. I know we're having a little bit of an issue with that right now, but over 2 years, we lost like 3 games. We scored a ton. We made a huge difference. And winning breeds people to come and want to be here. And I think you can do that. And it's not necessarily winning per se in the score, but you go to Cambrian we had me personally on the field and as a coach, I had a ton of success on the field, right? Say that right there is great, but then also academics. Our women's program at Cambrian was immaculate for not only results on the field, but academically, players were doing great. And it was an easy sell because he was like, you're going to get a good education. And it's the same thing that I would say at Laurentian and that I'm going to say at Nipissing is we have to use what we have, not focus on what we don't. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Have you found that having the Cyclones now has helped with your time? Maybe Cyclones weren't around while you're at Cambridge, but even I learned that help try and connect guys to stick around at Laurentian or even the Cyclones, like kind of twofold there.
Yeah, 100%. Like the reality is that they go hand in hand. There's some people in the province don't get it. They're like, it's OUA or it's one or the other. In my
Right.
opinion, they have to coincide because you're not going to have the player the whole 12 months of the year. That's just not the way it is in Ontario soccer. That's not the case. So you want your players to be getting good education, playing at a good level in the fall and the winter. And then you also want them to be in a competitive program at the highest level possible in those summer months. And it's not like it's just summer months. It's basically these guys are playing 6 months at OUA, 6 months in the OPL. Like it's how we can get the most out of them, but also get the most development. These guys are playing like compared to my day when I played in League One way back, like it's vastly different and the level is vastly better than when it started 10 or so years ago.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to ask about so as a non-soccer guy, obviously growing up a little bit, Jim hates when I say that because, I'm European in a way, but you guys are the soccer guys. I think when the Sudbury Cyclones came around, it was so cool and obviously so good for the community. Like, how did that kind of opportunity come for you, Evan? And you jumped right into a GM role. So kind of run us through how that opportunity came all about for you.
So yeah, like the Connor really and Dana Carly as well were the the back end deals behind it, right? And then I was the only person who'd actually been in the league, right? So I had kind of understood things and where they came from and expectations. Connor had a bit of experience, obviously, in Vancouver, but also with Thunder Bay, they were in a different version of the league back then, but had some things. But me and Connor were really the only ones who had kind of some first-hand experience. So basically, I was like, hey, this is what you're going to expect. This is how we're going to have to get players, right? And basically, a lot of it came from that, right? It was Connor when before Connor was playing, he was like, hey, I'm going to run the admin stuff on the back end. Can you and G do the recruiting sides? And I know G Giuseppe well. He's one of my buddies now, but like I know exactly what he wants. So it's not that part's easy. Me and him are on the same page there. It's how are we now going to convince people to move to Sudbury who haven't, right? And some of it was already easy because we had Laurentian, we had Nipissing, we had Algoma that we were going to pull from, but there was also we've pulled from all over. We've pulled from Europe, we've pulled from guys from Colombia. Like it's crazy the world of football and the way it brings in. So that's how I got into Cyclones though, was just being part of the staff and really being the recruiter. And then as things have evolved, I've been asked to take more on, which, I love to say yes to that. And it's been a great experience in the sense of learning a different side of the business, and what it takes to operate one of these franchises, which it is massive. There's a ton that goes on to it. So, which has been, an awesome time, which has also helped me get the Nip job. Like that's a reality. It's these things, you take these opportunities, take the most of it, and it's going to help you open more doors in the long run, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Tommy, by the way, you're definitely still a soccer guy. You worked at the club. It's just
Yeah,
you remember,
what are you talking about?
You remember those days, eh? Yeah. Well, it didn't really feel
I
like
heard
work.
I heard Tom got caught gaming in the
No,
office.
Evan,
Is
Evan
that
never,
true?
Evan never came around to the office until he needed like
Just
his
email. I'm just an email guy.
email guy until he needed his 15 balls pumped up perfectly and
Yeah,
his certain pinnings.
for PSI. Yeah,
I wouldn't really call it working for the club when it was, Politi was just those 6 a.m. Facebook messages never got old, man.
Your list for the
novels.
day.
It's like
missed the list
nightmare
for the day?
fuel. Yeah, waking up to those paragraphs, like, what am I gonna get myself into today?
And half of them you can't control.
No,
It's
oh,
like-
yeah, no. Hey, they still happen to you, I assume, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jim, you're a part of that now. You
I
teach
got one
with
this morning. I got one this morning.
them.
oh yeah.
That's awesome.
He works in his way, and I call it effective. In the end, at the end of the day, he's gonna get you results.
Uh-huh.
But I guess how's it been working with him? Obviously, you guys have had a long-standing relationship with the head coach Giuseppe Politi. We've also obviously had him on. He is as dialed in as they come. I tried to get him going in the interview. He was dialed in. Couldn't get him going at all. But and he's gonna love hearing that. But yeah, Ev, how's it been working with him?
It's been great. I mean, honestly, I owe a lot of the opportunities that I have to him and the grace he's shown me in his own way. I think, G he's perceived as a little hard-nosed, which he is at times for sure. But he's a lot softer than he lets
100%.
on. And when you have someone like that in your corner and vice versa, me and his, like it only breeds success, and I think it makes working together great. Like I think that's the thing that, like, over the years, whether it's been at Cambrian, GSC, or Cyclones, I've always felt that if there's things that he could help me with, he put it all aside, anything else aside, and he would offer it, and he'd make sure we're there. And then Giuseppe's mom, Antoinette, took care of me the first summer I was in Sudbury. Like, she got me a job at the food basics.
Angel.
Oh my gosh. I had a lunch every day, and I
Oh, yeah.
and I never asked anything, and then I find out years later, Giuseppe was worried about me staying in Sudbury, so he's like, him and his mom made sure that I had food every day. And and I didn't know that till like 8 years later when I got married, and he told me the story. So it was like, it was one of those things where he does a lot of little things that go a long way. And I think that translates a lot to players too, that we coach,
For sure.
like the little
Mhm.
things make you want to go to war for the guy. Right.
Right.
And I think the reason we work great together is I think I'm a little more, I don't think it's hard to say I'm more charismatic than he is. I'm better with words. And so he says something and I'm like, this is what he means.
Yeah, you're
Right?
translating from.
Yeah, I'm a translator. That's why I like to say, and there's a few of us out there who can translate him well, but it goes a long way, because I think he means well, and he wants the best for the community, and that's all you can want.
I love it.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, like, what's your coaching philosophy in soccer? Like, has it changed over the years? Obviously, you've probably learned a lot from your coaching experiences. What do you always lean back towards, and how do you, I guess, define a really good soccer coach in that sport?
Yeah, I think for me, I am defensive because I'm a goalie, right?
Okay.
I like to keep things simple in that sense, but
Yeah.
I've changed over the years. I like to say this, but I think it's true, and I think my wife would say it too, is that I'm obsessed. So I'm always watching it. I'm
Yeah, I'm hearing a
studying
lot of
it.
yellow cards, Evan. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Well, yeah. I think the club leader.
passionate. That's okay.
Yeah, passionate. So, but I like to think that I study the game a lot. I obsess about it analytically, stylistically. So, I've created, as I've gone through the coaching education, I've created my own style, which I would say I'm a huge believer of transition, right? And I think right now, whether it's in soccer, hockey, basketball, like the world of team sport right now is transition. But I also think, I'm a little bit more offensively thinking than, like, for example, Giuseppe what is nowadays, where I like to push the envelope. But I would say I'm pragmatic defensively, and I like to open up as well, though, when we have the right moments. And I think from a leadership style of, I, I- you know, I like to give a lot of our responsibility to our players to create culture, which I think is the most important thing for having people buy into your coaching style or your play style, right? And I think that's the most important thing, right? If you create a good culture, a great environment, no matter the style of play you have, whatever that is, possession, transition, high press, it doesn't matter. It's easier to translate that to the group. And I think for me as a coach, that's like a big thing for me as I kind of have grown. But I also think, like, as technology has evolved, I'm obsessed with analytics. I think it tells you a lot, and you can learn a lot more from when you watch a game in person, but then combining that with stats, it makes a big difference on how you read the game, analyze players, and change things to make them better.
And a major stat. Here comes a follow up for you. A major stat. Everyone always talks about possession
Yes.
in soccer, and some people believe in it, some people don't. Where do you lie on possession?
I think the big thing is, I think where is the possession?
Okay.
So I'll give you some stats. Okay. If you look at the OUA or in OPL,
Yeah.
most turnover goals happen within the defensive final third.
Mhm.
So I'm a believer personally. Why play out then? If you've got space, great, but why?
Right.
If most of the goals in the leagues, the high performance leagues, are coming off of turnovers there, why would you play possession in that area?
Huh.
Now,
Yeah.
in the middle third of the field, I think in organized attack, possession is extremely important,
Mhm.
right? I think that is where you want to possess the ball. It's where you want to break teams down. That's great. But if for example, we play teams all the time, or in the OUA, and they have possession 60% of the ball, but of that possession, like 50% of that 60% is in their defensive third. It's like, well, I'm winning if I'm the defensive team there, because you're not getting anywhere near me, right? So I think that's where I would lie. I think there's a value in it. Just like you can't skew one way or the other too much, right? You've got to find that balance of, we're going to possess in these areas of the field, but in these three we're not, or whatever that is, right? And I think that's the
Right.
most important thing, is having that clear space, that clear identity of where you're going to value that ball will make things easier for you in the long run.
Hmm. I like this. I like it. I like the analytics driven here. I think you make some great points. Um, Back to the recruiting process here. Like, what's your philosophy, Ev, in getting guys to play? Like, how do you approach guys to come and play up north here?
Honestly, anyway,
Yeah.
Instagram, friends of friends, recruiting trips, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
contacts that I have. I think the biggest thing that we can use is the soccer community, while big, is also really small.
Hmm.
When you get to the high performance level, it's the same 10 guys across the province, maybe a little bit more. But so having good relationships with those guys will help you get players and get into things, so that you can get those conversations. But at the same time, it's also staying in tune. Instagram is like the best tool ever. Honestly, like, across Laurentian, Cambrian, and Nipissing, like, and Cyclones, like, understanding the players and their background, where they're coming from a social media perspective, will help you build a connection, and then be like, hey, listen, I know you played for X team. I have a buddy who plays here. Why don't we hop on a call?
Hmm.
I'm the biggest believer, you get on a call with me 90% of the time, if you're legitimately interested in our program, I'll be able to get you here. But it's
Hmm.
building those connections, the following, whether it's intermediate, like, people in the middle there helping you build that, goes a long way. Like, for example, we have this guy, Ilya, great player. He's come from Windsor this year. Um, I wanted him to come. We started talking to him. Then Dominic Valentic, runs the Croatia club, in Sudbury. Ilya's Croatian. A big thing, simple thing you can do, easy, is I asked Dom, hey, want to connect with this guy? He's Croatian, you're Croatian. Can you tell him about the Croatian community in Sudbury? And he got on the phone call. He was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to come here already. And now I have a Croatian connection that can help me, get adjusted to the
That's
community. Little things that you pick up. The reason I
Right.
knew he was Croatian on social media is in his Instagram profile.
Yeah, it's cool.
Little things
Yeah.
can go a long way to making people want to be a part of the programs that you're running.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is interesting. And you mentioned it, like how Instagram is so huge and social media. Like even having Timus on, it was funny to hear like he found out about coming to Canada just on an Instagram ad. It's insane. Like how much that's
Exactly.
affected. Yeah.
And that was like the sales pitch to Timus was like,
Yeah.
he was like deciding whether he was going to go back to England. And I was like, well, think about it, like, because Salford, where he's from, has a team that jumped up 3 levels in a year, in 3 years. I was like, why don't come here with us and let's try and do that here in Northern Ontario. Like that was an easy translatable thing that he was like, oh yeah, sweet, let's do it.
Yeah. It is cool. It is cool. I'd like to say I had my hand in one recruit from the inaugural season. I had a little bit of a hand.
did.
I had a
You
little bit of
did.
a hand in Jack
I
Collins.
just talked to
Yeah.
Collins the other day.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I want him to do an alumni thing for Nip. I got to get him to come.
Okay.
So
That's awesome.
but it's 100%.
Yeah.
When I got on the
He
phone
was
with
really
Jack,
happy about that, Evan. He was really happy.
I was
about
fired
that.
up. I was fired up.
I was mad that he didn't come back last year. He's now, he's got a great career, but
Yeah.
I
agree.
He was, people loved him here. Like
Yeah.
he was
Oh, yeah.
very well liked here. Maybe a
Yeah.
little too much for his ego, but
That's right.
So,
yeah, he was
eh,
turning into a star. I agree with you. I
Are
agree
you
with
saying, Evan, there's a possibility of a Cyclones BTB recruiting partnership? Question mark.
easy.
Jim,
Hey,
you know I love Instagram
I
DMs,
do.
buddy. You know,
Yeah, that's a
Fire,
fact.
fire.
Fire
you know,
'em.
fire them off. I'll fire them off.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
set them to Evan's way.
It is fun connecting, like you mentioned, Ev, connecting with guys and trying to get them to come and play. And I mean, that was just a little small example, but it is fun. Like it's a lot of work, and you're playing the game, But once you get these guys in and you see success, it is fun, and rewarding to see. Is there any guys or girls that stick out to you, that like a recruit that you really tried hard to sell, and one that maybe you're most proud of their success in coming over?
There's a bunch. I think Timus was a big one because Timus kind of opened the door for a lot of things.
Right.
With some international guys. And then, there's a few, right? We have this guy, Cedric, who is at Nipissing. He's actually playing in Belgium right now. We have a few guys. We have,
Cool.
over the 3 years, we have 5 or 6 guys that are
Yeah.
in Europe right now. So that's really exciting in that sense. But it's also, I think, the guys that were part of the stuff at the beginning is also what I'm really proud of, that are still here and kind of making a deal, making an even bigger impact. But player to get, LaShawn Facey, he was one. Ilya, like I mentioned, like those are 2 guys who came from really good programs that it was a lot of work to get them here. Isaiah Noel, who's also from Humber, who's then helped us get a few more guys from Humber. Like that was, when I think about the work that went into getting those guys, convincing them that, hey, you should leave Toronto and come to Sudbury because you're gonna do great things. Like with Isaiah, he didn't have a great 3rd year. So Isaiah didn't have a great year at Humber the year before he came. Like he didn't have a bad year, but he didn't have a great year. So in my opinion, it was a big year for him this summer to come play with us. So it was a big deal to convince him, hey, you're gonna come here, you're gonna get an opportunity not only to play, but thrive and be a core piece of this thing. And then I don't want to take too much credit because it's all Isaiah did all this work. But then I think he had a great year with Cyclones. We got promoted. Then last year he was one of the best players at Humber. They won a national championship, and he's in the form of his life. And I think Cyclones played a small part in that. and convincing him to get to come here and be like, this is the place for you to take that next step in your playing side. Like that matters. And I think that's what makes it all worth it in the end, right? Convincing those guys, like, this is the place we can get the best out of you here.
Yeah, I want to go. Let's go to Nipissing. Obviously, Chin mentioned that in the intro, and just for myself, Evan, congratulations. That's kind of like, obviously, I know that was one of, not a main goal of yours, but a big goal of yours. So, kind of run us through what you're looking forward to most there in terms of, I guess meeting the team, the culture, and establishing yourself at Nipissing.
I think, like, sorry, the dogs are kind of going
It's
crazy.
okay, all good.
So
all good, all good.
The reality is that, like, at Nip right now, there's a lot of really good core things there that are already in place. But I think I've kind of got the ability to paint a new brush, or like do a new picture, whatever you want to call it, in the sense that there's lots of things that I can change and make better or keep the same, but I really have an open canvas. And that's like one of the best things that I'm excited to kind of prove too, is like, I've gone into these environments where at Cambrian, I took over from a successful program, and I'd like to think I kept it successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And made some big strides. But now it's, Nip didn't have a great year last year. And I'm not saying it's going to be a 1-year turnaround thing, but I think I can make pretty large institutional change to better the program. And I think, like, when I think about coaching in general and program development in general, it's, can I leave the program in a better place than when I got it? And I think that's like the best privilege that you have coaching, right? And so, analytically, I've already mentioned that. That's one thing I'm going to bring that they weren't doing previously, analytic and film stuff. But also, periodization and ensuring the program is at the levels that I think the OUA should be at. And again, it's not saying that someone did it previously wrong. They had a different version, and that's their prerogative, right? And I think I've been around the OUA game, the OCAA, OPL. Like, I think I can bring something that Nipissing hasn't had on the men's side, and that'll make it different. And I'm hoping that makes it better. I could be talking out of my own thing here and say, make all these things changes, and then it'd be the same. But the point is that I think I can make a real difference in these, young adults' lives to make them better soccer players, but also better people, right? Which is what, post-secondary athletics is, right? I'd love to say that everyone that comes into Nipissing is going to go pro, but, like, that's not realistic, right? So
For sure.
how can we make them better players, better people, and get a good piece of paper and make them successful community members, hopefully staying in Northern Ontario?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no doubt you're going to leave an impact there, Evan. I think, like you said, I think some changes, like you mentioned, are going to be huge. The fact, adding some film, adding analytics, that's going to be massive. Every, team is looking for an edge here. And I mean, a lot of teams are getting into analytics and film and using it. And I think it's an absolute must to have. So I think that's great to hear. Talking Northern Ontario as a whole here, and seeing the success of the Cyclones, like, it's so cool to see where it's gone from. Like, seeing Connor, started in the first year, now he's the goalie, and he's absolutely, like, he is the man. Like, Tom was asking me, on a sidebar, like,
he should be playing pro. Like,
he
should.
I agree. Oh yeah, he's that good.
It's like,
I couldn't believe he was still playing. Like,
we had a
Me and
sidebar.
Giuseppe spent a year convincing him. A year.
Yeah, for sure.
We had to convince the whole family.
Yeah, I think deep down, I mean, come on, like, how can he not want to play after starting it, for sure? And I don't think Tom understood. He was like he's a little older, but, like, how good is he? I go, man, he is literally the man. Like, he is, like, their guy. So it's so cool to see. But, like, all these stories, kids get to see a pro soccer team here in Sudbury. It's something I wish I would have had as a kid growing up there. Like if I was a kid, I would have been at every Cyclones game, and I still love coming to support the team.
Buddy, you'd
now
be
as,
playing.
as, as I'm a bit older.
You would have played
Right.
striker.
I've seen him play.
Wow.
He can play.
He's got a good touch, AF.
I told
Yeah.
Bleedy, you ever need a one day, you need me to go make a strong tackle out there. I let him know. You need a one day. I'm
Third
here.
goalie, Jim. Third goalie.
Yeah.
He might be one.
No, Ev will be third goalie before me. But, how have you seen soccer grow here? Maybe Sudbury and Northern Ontario now being in it for a while and being involved as much as you've been.
Yeah, I think the sport is growing massively. I think there's a lot of great things going on in the community across, North Bay, Sioux, and Sudbury. I think, all three district clubs like NDS, North Bay District Soccer Club, Greater Sudbury, and the Sioux Club, first off, interprovincially are doing great. They're giving they have more opportunities now. Like when I moved to Sudbury, my first winter here, we had the indoor center, then it shut down. It was just futsal. And it was just
Crazy.
futsal. It wasn't just just Sudbury, it was the Sioux, and everywhere there was no indoor facilities. So now, all three cities have, good infrastructure, or let me say, better infrastructure.
There we go. Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's the big, next growth period, which, over the last month, I've heard more turf facilities in Sudbury than all of Northern Ontario. It's wild. I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
But, that's the next step. And I think, but as a community as a whole, we're developing more players than we ever have, better quality players than we ever have. And I think the post-secondary institutions, but also Cyclones, play a big part of giving them a pathway to say, I don't have to go to Toronto to play at the second, third highest level in Canada anymore. I can go to Sudbury, which is great. I mean, if you look at, we have a number of locals or kind of Northern Ontario locals playing within the Cyclone structure. If you look at, there's one kid I coached he's an 06, Lyndon DeFries. He's an 06, and he's playing college out in Alberta at King's College, and he made the OPL 3 team this year. And if there wasn't this opportunity, he'd probably be staying in Alberta for the year, right?
Right.
Or he'd be going back to Sioux to train there. There's these opportunities that they don't have, or they didn't have, that now they do. And the local clubs have done a great job of, pushing them to be as high as possible. We have our U17, U18 age groups are playing all year round now in the provincial indoor league and having success in the indoor leagues as well. So, and I know I'm missing clubs there. There's Suburnia, there's
Right.
the Valley, there's clubs all over the place that are putting resources in to making, our soccer community better, which I'm happy about.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, totally agree. One more question, Ev, before we get to our Fast Five, and then we'll let you go. You got to be one of the busiest guys I've met in my life. You're involved in so many facets. How do you do it, man? How do you get so involved and that's, I guess, the question. How do you do it?
I take on too much because I'm too nice and I don't want things to not happen. I think
Right.
I worry that something, if I don't be a part of it, it sounds very selfish. I'm not meaning it this way, but that it maybe won't get done, or things
You're right, though.
I think Giuseppe rubbed that off on me completely. He and I haven't learned his ways of stepping back at all yet, but I think as I get older, I'm starting to time manage a little bit better. But I believe in the community. That is what it is. I believe in the community. My parents actually both went to school here in Laurentian too, so that's my little connection. But they believe in Sudbury. They believe in community involvement and what makes better for our community, for our youth. and the development of our kids, not only in soccer, but in sport in general. Like, you have to have people who contribute time. And if you can't contribute time to do it, to make things better, then you've got to do it the same way you guys, shine lights on not only soccer, but hockey, football, all this stuff. There's a lot of things, the Wolves, right? All those things need people to contribute. And it's one thing to say you want to contribute. It's another thing to act and be a part of it. And I think it's important to make our community better.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. All right, Ev. Our dynamic 5 here. It's 5 rapid fire questions. We always do it to end off our pods here. So 5 rapid fire questions. Whatever comes to the top of your head, let it rip, and I will send it off to Tom here.
All right, Ev. Who's winning the World Cup?
England.
Oh, no, Ev.
Don't national right here. I'm a double citizen, English and Canadian.
What's your go-to karaoke tune?
Ooh. Do you guys know Nicholas Walker?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, me and him love doing Killers at Little Montreal. Anything Killers at Little Montreal.
I love it.
That's actually
a couple nights where we started at Respect and then ended up at Little Montreal, and we got the mics taken away from us doing the Mr. Brightside or one of those.
I love it.
Mr. Brightside, probably.
Okay. Are you a breakfast, lunch, or dinner type of guy?
Dinner.
A good dinner. Okay. What's your favorite sport other than soccer?
Probably hockey. I think.
Nice. All right.
Hockey or golf. I'm a big golf guy too.
Okay.
Like during the pandemic, I golfed every day. I didn't when I had no soccer. That was the replacement.
Yeah. Last one. Sudbury restaurant. What's your favorite?
I'm gonna give you 2: Respect and Damascus. I actually just had Damascus tonight before.
Dynamiting. Dynamite.
There's nothing better than like ordering Damascus and getting the garlic aioli sauce.
Oh, game over. Game over.
I
Need
ordered
a
too
few
much,
sticks
and
of
then
gum.
3 days in a row. 3 days in a row of eating it.
I love it. Love it. Well, Ev, we've taken up a ton of your time here. Listen, we know you're a busy guy. Thanks a lot for coming on and chatting with us. This is one we wanted to do for a bit here. Congrats on all the success. We hope Nip makes a great run. We know the Cyclones are going to turn it around there, so people just got to be patient. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate you having me on. I'm not going to lie. Listen, a long time. You guys have done great. The pod has been great for a while. So thank you for what you do for the community. Appreciate it.
That was Evan Phillips. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom, great interview.
Great guy. Basically, the summary of it is community involvement, and he does all that. Right? Without him, without Giuseppe, without a lot of people in the soccer, industry here locally, nothing would probably have gone done. And he's very passionate about what he does. And I kind of dated myself a little bit when I used to work at GSCC with him there, and he was just so involved with all the club teams, and to see how much he's grown to earn that opportunity now with us coaching university soccer, I think it's super cool, and it's a great guest. And I wanted to say shout out to you for getting that guy on, because I know that was your guy.
Oh yeah, I've talked to Ev about coming on quite a bit, and happy we got to do it. That guy is so involved, and you do feel bad, like he mentioned. He's like, if I don't get involved, sometimes I feel like it's not going to be able to run. I've had that feeling before. It's like it's not being selfish; it's just kind of the truth here. So he's done a phenomenal job, and excited to see what he can do with Nip. Got to think their first game with Laurentian has got to be already circled on his calendar. That's going to be a fun game to watch. So stay tuned for that. Okay, Corny's bulletin board, OHL Finals.
No one cares. Work harder.
Work harder.
Song.
I believe Mason took Barrie in 4. In fact, it was the complete opposite. Kitchener wins in 4. It was a sweep, gentlemen. One game, I believe, went to overtime. Barrie was without Cole Boydwayne for the entire series.
I love how you say his name so easily.
But nobody cares. Work harder. And the Barrie Colts, in fact, did not work harder than the Kitchener Rangers. And I hate to be that guy, but it's just the truth. 4-0 sweep. Fellas, what do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, I was reading a lot of stuff on X about this Kitchener team, dude. I just want to give two guys some praises: Jared Woolley, Sam O'Reilly, back to back to back, three-peat champs as teammates. 2 with London, 1 with Kitchener. Kitchener's first ring since 08.
It's unbelievable.
And I've been to a game. I'm not sure if you have at the Odd. We always talk about the Odd. Home ice matters when you're first seed in the West. They were a 10-0 at home at the Odd this year. Okay. So I have this tweet and I sent it to our group chat. Sam O'Reilly on their roster the last 3 years in the playoffs is 48-5. Could you imagine being that guy and you're 48-5 and have 3 rings? Let alone first rounder, NHL draft pick. He just got traded from a brutal organization, and I think how it's ran in Edmonton, to going to Tampa Bay. And this guy doesn't lose faceoffs. I think I sent in another tweet. He took more draws than Barry did the whole game, like the whole
He
team
won
did.
more draw. He won more draws single-handedly than
He won like
Colts.
29 or 30 draws or something. It was crazy. So this guy is going to be Anthony Cirelli 2.0 potentially. Very similar resumes with OHL champion and then first rounder and whole.
He was second in the league in points.
Playoff MVP too.
Playoff points, yeah. Second in the league with 28 points, 17 goals, 11 assists in 18 games. The only guy ahead of him was, in fact, Cole Boudouin. And pretty crazy, he was the only Kitchener player in the top 5 of points. So pretty interesting little tidbit of information for you there. But, I mean, what a great team. Christian Kirsch, too, in net for Kitchener. You don't think his stock has gone up? And let's not mention and forget, too, I think Rebick had a great playoff as well on Barry's side. His stocks went right up as well. But, I mean, Christian Kirsch absolutely gets it done in the end. He finishes off his playoff with a 232 goals against average and a 900 save percentage in the O. That is very impressive. I don't know much about the other teams across the CHL, but I'd like to say Kitch will have a good shot here at Memorial Cup. There's no doubt in my mind.
For sure.
They're so strong, just like
I watched a few games because it was obviously on TV, like on TSN throughout the week. I don't know, man. I know Barry missing their best forward. You would like to think, and it's
that hurts.
Stupid. It's stupid for me to say this. I honestly think Brantford would have given them a better chance or a better series. I know Barry beat them.
I'm telling you, I don't disagree with that take. I seriously, I don't disagree with that take.
They're just, it would have been depth on depth, right? Like, I think Barry was just front loaded. Aitchison played like a million minutes. Like, they really had, I know they have a few other guys on the back end, but he was the main producer. That guy, he's going to be an NHL stud though. He had a couple late back-to-back games. He had late tying goals to tie it up, and one of them obviously sent it to overtime. It's just, yeah, when you run into a really good team and you have home ice on the other side, it really helps. It kind of always goes back to, I know we're going to talk about the NHL next. It's so important regular season now on where you seed for home ice. Because all I'm thinking about is that Minnesota-Colorado series, and if Minnesota had home ice, this series could be 3-1 Minnesota. But they don't, and now they have to win 2 of 3 on the road. Like, you're doomed, right? I think about it for the NBA. I think about it for the NHL. Regular season actually does matter. People just say you have to get in. But, man, home ice and, I guess, home court really matter.
Home ice is huge.
Huge.
Well, yeah, look at Montreal last night. Even though they didn't win, that arena was going crazy.
Guys, I will never probably say this, and then the years we continue on this show, they're fun to watch, boys.
Thank you.
They are,
and they're
let me talk about them for a second, okay? Because you won't hear this again from me. They are so entertaining, and that arena is bonkers. Like, it almost makes me want to text you guys and say, "Let's go to a game."
Round 3.
I will put my Paul Byron jersey on, and I will be a fan. I would be. As much as I'm a diehard bleed blue, how can't you root for that team? Like, they have some players that I don't like really love their style of game. But for me as a coaching guy, I love to see how Marty St. Louis coaches that team. He's got these guys buying in, dialed. He's fist pumping the assistant coaches on the way out. Everyone's like a whole, I guess, team bond of it aspect is so cool in my opinion. And they just want to win. All those guys just want to win. And Mace, I know you're a goalie guy. They hit the lottery with that Dobish kid, man.
Dobish is great. Tough
And
one
Fowler
last
coming
night
up
off
too.
that. Yeah, Fowler's
Another one.
really
I know
the
they
stud.
have
Fowler's our
so
number
many
one
assets.
prospect.
What a
They're not
luxury
even
it
in their
has,
prime
guys.
yet. This team's
guys,
not even in their
guys.
prime.
I think
You
this
don't
is the
understand
prime,
because we have no assets because we trade them all and like clearly worked out for us. You guys have players on your team like prospects that
With term.
I don't know, but I'm saying like young guys that are still in college and major junior hockey that you'll trade for NHL ready players and it won't hurt you because you're that deep at every position right now.
No, it's
Definitely.
like Michael
Like
Hayes.
I'm sorry, you can trade probably Reinbacher for like an NHL ready player. Like that's
You could.
Michael Hayes too. Like do you really need him? Like you do, but like
I think
He's gonna be
he'll
our
fit in
second-line
nice.
center next year.
I think he'll fit in
Or a
nice
year after.
too.
but do you know what I mean though? These are good problems to have. You like you have assets and you'll still have draft picks this year to retool and get better. Like Montreal's gonna be good for a long time. You guys should be very thankful you're Montreal Habs fans. Wow, I'm really nice tonight, eh?
2 more points, sorry, back to the OHL before we can
Yeah,
move
sorry.
on. I know we got into NHL there, but just 2 more points. Tom, you did mention O'Reilly and Woolley. They became the second and third players in OHL history to win 3 consecutive OHL championships, joining Scott Timmins, who won in 08 in Kitchener and then 09 and 10 with Windsor. The other point, have you guys
on
seen
those two? What's your guys' opinion on London posting that, using pictures of them in their London outfits?
I kind of love it. Like they're rivals in a way, but they came from that program on how to win, right? So I respect that. It's like
You can't deny that. I haven't seen the post.
they won their winning. Like they taught those players how to win. The Hunters did. London
That's
did.
fair. That's
Like
fair. Okay.
And if you were to
Exactly.
ask those 2 kids, maybe I can send a little DM, Chim. You know I love those, to one of those guys to get them on. I know we're Northern Pod, but I'd love to ask how it felt to win 3 in a row.
I mean, yeah, let's do it. Why not?
I'll send them DMs. You got to think they throw when they're done their OHL career and they're always going to look back on London more than their one run with Kitchener.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
Of course. But I mean, you played on 2 of arguably the best franchises in the OHL. So,
buddy,
you
those
won
guys have
3
played
chips.
so much hockey though.
Best
They've
junior career, it's electric.
they've always made the OHL finals. Like they've never
Yeah,
lost in the
it's
first
crazy.
round. Like they've always played until late.
I
May.
value
Like, it's
that
crazy.
winning pedigree, man. I value that winning pedigree a ton. Okay. Another thing, though, guys, have you seen there are guys fleeing the OHL now, going out of college? Ethan Belchet's just committed
Okay.
to Michigan State. And
Yes.
Malhotra did too, correct?
Correct. He's going to be in the
Where did
NHL.
Caleb Malhotra go?
I think he'll
No,
be in
but
the
where did
NHL
he commit?
next year. Michigan State? No.
Okay, so my opinion on this is it just opens up the door. The OHL will be a younger league, Chim, but it's going to open up the door and more kids are going to get to develop. I think in the long run, sure, it might hurt the star power of it and a bit of the product. It might not be the closest to the next level anymore, but it will give kids an opportunity like a JC Lemieux to be that first line guy right away.
Boston University. Good point, Mace. Boston U.
It is crazy though, Mace, and the reason why this hurts OHL franchises is like you're looking at Brantford. If they're looking to rebuild,
Can't trade.
that's a guy you're gonna trade for 1 million picks and prospects. Now you can't trade him. He's gone to college. You can trade his rights. There's no guarantee. What value is that? His rights. Like you're gonna have to convince the guy to come over. So
You take a
I think
risk in that though, because
You do, but you leave like OHL teams are being left in some really tough spots when these guys flee. They notice that the situation isn't great. They don't want to get traded. Boom, I'll go to college. Why wouldn't you? If I was in their position, I do the same thing
buddy,
too.
you're talking about it's like the
But
Muse
the-
stuff when you're talking Sudbury or Michigan. What are we doing here? Like,
But it is true that the OHL is changing to a league where guys are going to stick around 2 to 3 years and gone. And you're going to see that the OA class is not going to be very strong anymore. Like, I don't think the OAs are going to be great players anymore.
buddy, I might be able to play OA. Where was I going with this? I think the cycle is now going to be 2 to 5 years. Like, you're going to see like a team be bad for a lot of years. Brantford doesn't have a pick, man, for 3 years. And I believe,
who can they trade? Who are you
I
going to
don't
trade?
know if it was the GM or the owner that came out, and he was shocked about the news about what's his name, Belschwitz?
Belschitz from Windsor? Or are you talking about Brantford?
Brantford. It was the
Okay,
Brantford
Malhotra
owner.
then.
No, sorry. I'm talking about. You got me. I'm confusing myself now. Talk about the Windsor player, the Windsor GM or owner. I'd have to,
Belschitz.
yes, they were shocked about the news of him committing. Like, they had no idea. Like, usually, the player. It's like rumored around the
Yeah.
room, the agent or whatever is talking to the GM, and it's kind of talked about. But they were shocked about him going. So I don't know, man. Our school is becoming a little bit more last minute. Hey, like, come here at the end of the season, or are they in their ear for the last couple of years? Like,
Well, I think now colleges are talking to players throughout the year. Like, they're
Tim,
constantly,
if you- for a
throwing
guy
in
like
little
that-
nuggets, I think.
for a guy like that, though, if you catch him at a good time on that phone call, and I'm just making this stuff up, you lose in the playoffs, you're disappointed. Hey, come play Division 1 at a really
Well,
good school.
of course, they're going to do
You're going to
that.
be really bad next
Look
year.
at your situation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah,
Of course they're
yeah.
going to do that. Yeah. No, definitely. Unless guys are signed, you will look at players that are going to be there in the OHL for 2 to 3 years max. The top players are going to be there for 2 to 3 years max. Go to college. Probably they'll go to college, and you're going to see this trend of them going to college in their draft year so that they don't have to stick around if they do sign an ELC. Like, it's insane. It's insane. And if they do sign an ELC, okay, well, you're going to put me either in the AHL or I'm going to play with the big boys. That's how it's going to work. Like,
Okay, so I got a question for you. For these guys' development, do you not think it's better for them to stay in the OHL than going to college?
it's
Tough
tough.
question, eh?
I'm telling you, I think the OHL is now a feeder league to college. Like, that's how it's going to work.
And
Wow.
do you see NCAA being an older league now? Like, it's already, there's a lot of
And it
older
already is an
players.
older league, and I think it is. Like, I think, well, if anything, NCAA is going to get a little younger now, and the OHL is getting younger. Like, that's how it's going to work. You are now building your team around a guy in his sophomore year. Like, that's how it's going to work. It's very difficult to navigate. This benefits, as far as I know, the Wolves have had nobody that's committed to college right now. So on the Wolves side of things, this could work in their favor. But
And we always kind of talk about this, Hal. I think the hardest job is an OHL coach to keep these guys in check. Like, we mentioned playoff runs, and these guys have somewhere to go after AHL. They're already thinking maybe college next year. It's how do you come up with a winning culture to keep these guys to win a ring? Like, it's
I think,
It's
though,
tough, man.
I do have to say, I think that, we're talking about the top players here. Like, this is I would say, a rather small percentage, but still, it is going to affect teams like Brantford. That's one guy you were going to trade in your rebuild. Like, guaranteed you were going to trade him. He's gone. Windsor probably would have traded Belschitz at some point this year. He's gone now too. So you lose that trade asset. Like, do teams now get compensated for that in draft picks? How does that work? Like, you just lose out on these guys? I don't know. But I guess that is the risk you take.
when you're
It's-
trying to win. That's the
when you're
risk
trying
you
to win.
take.
But, like, again, those are two guys that were drafted by those franchises. So what risk what's the risk? You literally drafted those players.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So I think
I
the
still always go
OHL is
back.
exposed. The OHL, put it this way, the OHL is exposed. These guys that can, like, I think that can just leave like that. It, to me, is, if you're looking at it from the OHL's perspective, is crazy. But if I'm
Correct.
a player, this was a decision when it was made. It was a decision made for the players. And if I was Belshifts, if I was Malhotra, yeah, when's the next ticket? When's the next plane? Because I'll be coming. It makes total sense on their side.
So I think the OHL takes us like a little bit of a stab in the what for this, right? Because they're losing talented players. NCAA benefits from this because the top end guys, like you mentioned, are coming. But the point I don't get is these guys, if they don't have playing time like they wanted, they can just say, "Hey, school, I'm going back to major junior, but I'll see you next year." And the OHL is kind of like a, "Oh, thanks, I'll take you back" type of thing. Like that piece doesn't. So we're talking about trading for their rights, Al. Like, does a guy like Maholtra go for like a 4th rounder in hope that he might come back? Because he's going to play in college. That's
He's
what
not
I'm
coming
saying.
back.
But like,
Tell you right now, kill him out.
the example I'm trying to make here is that Kluche kid from the Sioux. He went to Arizona State, didn't play, and the Sioux's just like, yeah, we're going to go on a run, come back. Like it's kind of crazy how that you can go back and forth in a way.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to start
looking into that a little bit.
limiting that, whatever it looks like. It is
But-
very interesting.
So Brantford has Maholtra's rights, Jim. If they're like again first in the East next year, which won't happen, do you not think maybe he would maybe come back like for a run? Like, do you know what I mean?
I don't think he's coming back.
Okay.
I mean, once you get to BU, he's the BU or BC. Doesn't matter.
BU.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
they're
Don't matter.
good. They're good. I know.
BU, BC doesn't matter. He's staying there.
I know.
He's staying there. It's crazy.
But back in the day, Jim, this never was a thought, man. You could even go
No.
to like a tour of a D1 school, and when you were playing in the
Again,
like
for the player, it's great. For the OHL, it just, you're looking at a different landscape. You are now a feeder league for college. That's the way I look at it. That's the best way I could put it. It might be harsh, but that is what it is right now.
it is what it
And
is.
you're gonna have an interesting dynamic where guys are gonna sign, but they can't go play college, so they're gonna go back to the OHL. So that's an interesting dynamic. Also, let's not kid ourselves. The amount of money that's probably being thrown at Belshitz and Malhotra from these schools, NIL, scholarship, they are going to be making ELC type money
right away.
in
Yeah.
college. So
Before
it's
drafted.
a no-brainer. To me, it's a no-brainer on their end. Okay, real quick, before we wrap it up, NHL playoffs, Minnesota Wild play tonight. They're in one. Needed that game at home. So hard to see. That one kind of slipped through the cracks for them. Colorado is so good, and they are so deep. It is insane.
Mhm.
And it just sucks. Minnesota seems to have like one key injury every playoff. Whether it was Zuccarello, I think last year or a couple years ago. This year, Eriksson Ek, they need him. And they need Brodin because they're getting a little exposed on the back end. It's so difficult, man. Their division, so any other division, they're playing in the East, man. They are walking to the at least Eastern Conference Final.
Mhm. And I mentioned it at the start of the pod. Home ice really matters. Like,
If they were in the other Western Division, I don't know what it's called. I don't know all the names. I think the divisions are
That's the
stupid.
Pacific.
Then they would again walk to the Western Conference Final. I think they would walk Vegas, and I think they would walk whoever it was.
really, eh?
Edmonton.
You think so?
That's how confident I am. Like, you knock off Dallas, one of the best teams, and now look at Colorado. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Eriksson Ek, we talked about it. We actually watched Game 3 together at my brother's. It was fun to really dial it in and really cheer for the Northern boys and Marcus and Nick and Jim. They're electric out there with being on the line together, and it's just they got away from their game in terms of what made them win in Game 3. Like, they dominated Game 3, and they played their style of hockey, which is finished every check. The big guys produced. And in game 4, they just didn't have the drive, it felt like. I don't know. They tied it up late to make it 2-2, and then they kind of let the game slip away. Like their next
You're
shift
so
right after.
tired out, man. You're so tired. Like you keep going at this Colorado team that always just, finds a way. It's tough.
And their depth players, but they tie it up late, and the next, I think, shift or two after, Colorado comes back and scores. Like, what do we always say as coaches? The next shift after a goal is always the most important, and Colorado got the momentum right back and ended up winning. So
Definitely.
yeah, we have to win 2 of the next 3 in Colorado. So
See what happens.
Let's see what happens. Never say never, I guess.
Yeah, Montreal. I think Montreal's going to be fine. I think
Yep.
they will.
Yeah, they will be.
They'll take care of it. Got to win one now on the road, but I think they'll be okay. I think they got you, but you got to try and wrap it up in 6. You don't want to go to Game 7 in Buffalo. You don't want that.
I
at
agree.
All. Anything else, fellas? Anything for we missed it here?
May long.
Look at my
Jim,
notes here.
You're going on a golf trip.
Yeah, got a couple weekends ahead of me here. It's going to be
you do.
Rocky Crest and Lake Joe this weekend, and then we got Collingwood for Brett's Jacqueline's bachelor party. If you didn't know, he's getting married this year, so very excited for that. It's going to be a fun couple of weekends, and then next thing you know, I mean, by the time you know it, it's going to be invite time in July. But we have a lot of great events coming up in June, so stay tuned. We're gonna be posting them pretty soon. We are going to be making a return to the Golf Marathon of Hope. It's going to look a little different this year, kind of a relay style. So, Mason, I'll brief you on that. And, of course, I think we'll be making a return to the Palladino Neo Kids Golf Tournament as well, which is awesome. Or I believe it's called HSN Foundation now. So, very excited for that. Okay. Well, thank you to Evan Phillips for coming on and chatting with us. And folks, thank you for listening and following and doing what you do. Your support always means the absolute world to us. The reason why we're still doing this. Thank you very much. And we'll see you for next week, week 245. This was week 244 Behind the Bench. We love y'all, and we will chat next week.